mine, and there's this other guy that we had seen at police station, and he also had the same thing happen to him, but he was like actually from Tulum. Welcome back to Native Nomads vlog. I'm really happy to share with you our new video today. And if you're loving the vlog, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and feel free to leave a comment and like and share the video if you like it. All right, let's go ahead and jump in. So today's video is extra special because we are taking you back to beautiful Tulum, Mexico. Not sure if you know this, but back in 2017, when we were still living in the US in Portland, Oregon to be exact, this magical spot sparked a love for the Yucatan Peninsula, and actually was one of the reasons we ended up moving here in 2018. We ended up in Merida because of a volunteering position, but it was Tulum initially that brought us here. So since then, we've visited Tulum many different times, but it's always been as a couple without kids. And also Tulum is growing and evolving and constantly becoming more and more popular and sort of on the map. So every time we go, it's always changing a little bit anyways. But this trip was really different for the big reason. This was the very first time we were bringing our 15-month-old daughter, Sophia. And it was her first time in Tulum. So other than when I was pregnant and we came with my family, but I don't think that really counts. Just want to kind of go over, you know, what is it like going to Tulum, Mexico in 2025 with a baby or with kids or with your family. So we're sharing all the juicy details, the amazing highlights, the tricky moments, and everything you should absolutely do and you shouldn't do when you come to Tulum with a baby in 2025. So grab your favorite snack, get comfy, and let's go ahead and dive in. So let's go ahead and start with accommodations. This was one of our biggest do's during this trip. We went through Airbnb, and I'm gonna go ahead and link it below, but it was this place called Nahouse Jungle Lodge. And it's in the La Veleta neighborhood, which is sort of like an up and coming neighborhood near Centro Tulum. There is a lot of construction there, but there are beautiful jungle surroundings there. It's not very far from the beach and to Centro, so it's kind of in a nice location. And this Airbnb was only about 12-minute drive from the beach. This Airbnb was absolutely incredible, from the greeting that we got from the really nice people that work there. Once you go in, it's like this beautiful oasis paradise nestled right there in the jungle. Got there at night, and there's this beautiful cenote type. It's a pool, but it looks very natural. It's sort of built right into the limestone rock, and it just has like some plants on the side, and it just looks very natural and beautiful and magical, and like it was almost a full moon and there was trees. So there's 4 of like these palapa lofts in the property, and ours I feel like was the best because it was like really situated with this deck overlooking the cenote pool thing. It was perfect for us. There was a living room area downstairs and a kitchen, and then the bedroom upstairs with a king-size bed. We got to go swimming under the moonlight in this cenote pool and splash around with the baby. She was having such a good time. Jump into the pool.
Move in the water.
And just really feel refreshed and kind of like, okay, we're on vacation. So after becoming parents, this is something that we've really come to appreciate, are nicer accommodations. We're not really into like the whole roughing it, let's stay at a hostel type vibe anymore, although we've loved that in our travels. So that first night, we found this place called Asian Bodega right around the corner from the Airbnb, and it was so good. This was definitely a do on our trip. The dishes were super authentic. If you know us, we love Asian food, and it's one thing we do kind of miss from living in Portland, Oregon. They have really good Asian food there. The dishes were spicy, they were delicious, the drinks were great, and the ambiance and just like the whole vibe of the place was really fun, and we loved it. So the next day was Mexican Mother's Day, which was Saturday.
Okay, it is Mexican Mother's Day.
And we are in a gorgeous Airbnb here in Tulum. Baby is just so sweet. She's loving it. And we are absolutely in love. Babe, can you watch her for a second?
It's okay.
Here she is. And that was sort of special because Nate took baby duty so that I could just sit and relax with my little cappuccino and on the beautiful deck overlooking the cenote pool and just like listening to the birds. And I did a little meditation, and then I did this journal that my mom gave me, the happiness journal, and just enjoy the serene, gorgeous nature. Such a beautiful place. I just feel so at home here. Like, I really want our home that we build to feel like this. Just feels like an oasis. It's like built right into nature, this place. So there's like, you know, trees growing right up through this deck, and we're overlooking their pool, but it feels more like a pond or a cenote. They made it really natural with the way the rock, the limestone is sort of like curving, and they've got like plants in the shallow areas, and there's like a woodpecker right over here. It's just such an amazing place. So yeah, we got here last night and we went into the pool, and there's like a full moon today, so it was really nice and bright, and there was like really pretty lighting, and I got to like jump into the pool, and we just really enjoyed it. Today, as I said, it was just serene. Like, Nate took care of the baby, and they were having a good time, and I was getting to journal and read a little bit. This happiness journal that my mom got me. I'll show you. It's the happiness journal. The baby is just roaming around on the beautiful little like limestone rock pebble paths, and she loves collecting rocks, and she was having a great time. So this downtime was priceless. We would definitely say this is a do when you come to Tulum. Make sure you just have time to literally do nothing. Hopefully you are staying at accommodation that is as peaceful, relaxing, and beautiful as we were staying. Definitely, if you can, do carve out slow mornings like we did. It was just very recharging and refreshing before we kind of got into the more active part of our vacation. And this is really a do if you're just traveling with kids, is to carve out those margins in your day so you're not back to back with plans. And it's just nice to be able to appreciate the beauty around you, especially in Tulum. There's so much gorgeous wildlife. So yeah, it's been a beautiful day. So we're gonna go to the beach right now. We just got ready and packed up, and we're gonna go head to the beach. So it should be a beautiful day. Excited already. After this, we ended up going to this amazing beach club. So this is definitely a do on our list. We decided to go initially to this beach club that we had gone to a couple years ago called Ahau Beach Club, which is still a nice place to go. What's cool about it is it's right on the beach road. There's a couple of parking lots right across the street, so it's super convenient. And this is another do, is if you can rent a car, or, you know, of course, if you're like us and you live in the Yucatan Peninsula, you might have a car yourself. We're gonna get to another don't when it comes to your car. Anyhow, taxis can be very expensive, and they don't have Uber in Tulum. So if you can rent a car or bring a car, we think that's a good thing to do. This beach club, Ahau, went there a couple years ago. We had a great time. It has a pool, and one of our tips or do's is to find a beach club that doesn't charge you like a day pass or an entrance fee, but instead just a minimum consumption fee. Some of them actually don't even have that, because unfortunately there's not really very many free beach access. A lot of the hotels and beach clubs are along this beach road. You can't get to the beach unless you go through them. But our tip is, if you can find the ones that just let you come and pay for the food and the drinks, you know, that you get there. So anyway, we went to Ahau. The problem was the music was like 10 times louder than it was the last time we went there. And trust me, there's a time and a place for that, but when you have a little baby, it really was not the right place to bring her. So we were kind of bummed, because that's where we wanted to go. But they were really nice, and they ended up saying to just go like this direction. We ended up coming across this place called Ahau Beach Club, and that has become our favorite new spot. There's one more place I want to mention that we think is great called Ziggy Beach Club. We've been there before, and they're really nice as well, but the Ahau Beach Club was perfect When we came up from the beach, we talked to the really nice server, and she had said, you know, that there was a minimum consumption fee if we wanted one of the beach beds, which really wouldn't have been a bad way to go. It was, I think, 1,500 pesos a person, which is about $75 a person. So if you're there all day, but we weren't really sure we wanted to commit. So we asked her if we could just sit up at the restaurant and not get one of like the beach beds and how much that would be. And she was like, there's no minimum consumption fee. So we decided to do that. We saw that there was like this band setting up, and it was this band, La Bombonera Tulum. They were so amazing, and the volume was like perfect. It wasn't too loud. It was just like this really fun kind of like reggae, Caribbean, reggaeton type music. We had so much fun. The baby was dancing, I was dancing. It was such a chill vibe and so positive and uplifting. And of course, you've got this gorgeous view of like the turquoise waters. It's a really nice section of the beach. There wasn't as much sargassum as other beaches in the Tulum area. Yeah, it was just perfect. So that was definitely one of our top do's of this trip, was that beach club. We absolutely loved it. We ended up going there every day. Food was delicious. We got the fish tacos and the vegan empanadas. The drinks were on the pricey side. It was like 120 pesos for a Corona. That's not really uncommon. And it was well worth it for just the service we got and all the amenities that they had. It was just really plopped in the perfect location. Also, we parked across the street. They're all like 200 pesos per day. It's about $10. And if you're there all day, you know, it pays for itself. Yeah, so the music was always really good. And the other cool thing is they have this wonderful pool that's like connected right to where like the restaurant area is. And so we would go into the water. She loved it. It was clear and turquoise and beautiful. And there were some like waves as you went deeper that were like sometimes like, wow. One of them took me down. I actually had like a little scratch on one of my arms. But when you're close to the shore, which that's where we stay with the baby, another do is to bring a really nice life vest for your baby. And so she always had that on. We didn't have to worry about her. But when we were close to the shore, like it was just perfect for her because it's powder white, soft sand. So if she was to tumble or anything, it was just soft. The water was really nice. It was warm. It doesn't get deep very fast. So we just felt like it was really safe and really fun for her. She had a blast. So we would go and we would play on the beach, and then we would come back. It was just the best of both worlds. We would be able to keep our stuff at the restaurant, go have a drink, and then go back and play in the water. And when we got too hot, we would come back and have the shade, and then we would go and dip in this pool. And it was just so refreshing. One of the other great amenities is there's an outside shower, and in the bathroom had a really nice private shower. Another tip is bring like your little travel bottles of body wash and shampoo. So nice to be able to like completely clean up after your time at the beach club. And dressing rooms. And I noticed that like, there was always somebody in there cleaning. So it was really clean. And they had reliable Wi-Fi, and they had no problem if you wanted to hook up your computer. And so the last day that ended up really helping us out a lot because Nate actually had to work the last day. So yeah, we just love that place. We highly recommend it. Okay, so moving on to a crucial don't. As I had mentioned, we had parked in the 200 peso per day parking lot, which was definitely a do. The don't was parking on the street in Centro in this case. On American Mother's Day, which was Sunday, Nate was really sweet and he was like, instead of making breakfast at the Airbnb, why don't we go out for brunch? And I was like, that sounds great. We went to this great place called Milena Tulum. It was delicious. So we were sitting there waiting and the baby was getting antsy, so Nate took her outside to just kind of run around and like burn off some steam. Noticed that the car was totally gone and was like freaked out. Turns out the baby, when she was running around the restaurant, had met this really sweet Mexican family who was from the area. The dad of that family ended up somehow talking to Nate and being like, oh, your car didn't get stolen. It probably got towed. And that's, I guess, really common because there's so many weird laws. Like, you're not allowed to park near the corner, but the problem is there's no signs posted and there's no like yellow paint on the curb. It's like, if you're not from the area, like how would you know that And I think it's something like you're not allowed to park 10 meters from the corner, which is ridiculous. I mean, it's like a really long space. So thankfully, this really kind local family ended up helping us, but retrieving our car ended up taking half of our day. It was so sad because you're going from one moment like, oh, we're having this really nice brunch on Mother's Day, thinking we're, gonna go from there to the beach, to
Our car just got taken to the police station by the police, so kind of bummed. But whatever. It's actually sunny outside. We were just about to go to the beach, but our car, we have to go deal with that, so it is what it is.
So thankfully, this guy that we met knew what was going on. He knew that we need to go to the police station, and he also knew the police officer that was on duty, which was just a crazy, amazing coincidence. And that guy ended up charging us less than he would have, but the police officer, of course, wanted it in cash. And so this guy was so sweet. He ended up paying for us for the cash because we didn't have enough cash on us, and we just like paid him back through Wise with transfer app on our phone.
Okay, we made it out thanks to an angel who helped us. Yay! All right, we're gonna go get the car. The car is parked at a tow center, but our friend who helped us, who has a friend at the police station, we were able to pay much less, like 10% of what it was gonna cost. It was gonna be 6,000 pesos. We paid 700 pesos, about $35. The guy was so nice, and our friend is helping us take us to the place where the car is parked. So we're very lucky. Mother's Day, so thank God.
And he needed to get back to his family. Like, they had plans for the day, so, and they were like waiting for him at the restaurant. So after we did the police thing, we're thinking, okay, we're just gonna be able to get our car. Well, he was like, no, it's like not that easy. But he took us back to the restaurant. He called his friend who was a taxi driver who came and picked us up.
Okay, so we are at Grupo Riviera, which is where our car was towed. So it was actually quite a ways away, like 12 minutes south of the city of Tulum, like Pueblo. Our friend who helped us was amazing.
It's like out in the middle of nowhere. It's not near anything. And we're like all happy at first, thinking this isn't going to be a horrible process. And we look at the sign, and then there's this other guy that we had seen at the police station, and he also had the same thing happen to him, but he was like actually from Tulum, and he's like, this isn't the first time this has happened, and he looked really sad.
And he said, and the last time he was at this place, like the tow trucking place, it took 3 hours to get his car. But he doesn't think it'll take that long this time, because last time he was here at night. So he thinks it'll happen fast, but I don't know. I'm just trying to surrender to the situation. At least we had really nice people helping us. But hopefully we get our car back really fast. Okay.
And he's like, yeah, you're gonna have to pay a lot more, because at first we had only had to pay like, I think 700 pesos to the police officer. And we're thinking, okay, we're in the clear.
Well, things are a little bit hotter than we thought. Could be worse, but it costs 4,600 pesos, which is like $230 to get our car out of this Grupo Riviera tow truck place that we've already seen. Like 2 cars we brought in. They must be making so much money. They only take cash, of course, and we don't have cash. I don't even have my bank card.
This is the crazy part. I, for some reason, they like had this fanny pack that I was using. Well, my debit card was in my purse.
They say they take bank transfer, but they only do that Monday through Friday, and it's Sunday. So thankfully we have this taxi driver that took us here, who's nice enough to stay here with us.
We had to convince the lady, who was not very nice at all, to let us go to the car, which was like in this huge lot. There was like hundreds of cars back there. We talked to them, we were like, people probably just leave their cars here because they can't afford to retrieve them. Like, they would rather just buy a new car. But we had to convince her to let us go into the lot, go into my car and get my debit card, and then get more formula and hot water and stuff for the baby. And she barely let me do that. So a security guard had to accompany me.
And then we're gonna have to go with the taxi driver to get money from the bank, which is back in town, which is far, and then come back and pay them and be able to get our car. It's just a whole racket. Not really how I want to be spending Mother's Day. I want to be at the beach with a margarita, This sucks. But whatever, at least we had that really great angel helping us up until this point, but it's not right. It's not right. I mean, hey, if you're gonna charge that much money, take a freaking, like, credit card. Like, that's a crazy amount of money to have in cash on you. Anyway, crazy.
And they were about to close it too. And so we got all this done, I think at like 1:30, we got the car back, and it was such a pain in the butt, and it cost a pretty penny. I just kind of thought, like, how can people afford that? Like, that's like 230 US dollars a day. And it racks up every day that your car is in there. So lesson learned, always park in designated parking spots or parking lots if you can. We don't remember it ever being this hard before, but I talked to the taxi driver and he said that things can be pretty corrupt there, but it made us very grateful to have the car back. And it was a hard lesson learned. You know, just be really careful with parking in Tulum. If you can, just park in a parking lot. It's like worth the 200 pesos. So one more don't for the trip was the last few times we've gone to Tulum, there have been free beaches that are like on the north end of the beach road, right underneath where the ruins are. In our other video, we go over some of the other do's. We love those Mayan ruins. We definitely feel like that's a do, but we didn't go on this trip. Anyway, there are the free beaches right south of there. One of our new don'ts is, unfortunately, you're not really able to get to those beaches very easily anymore. That day after the fiasco, we went back to Airbnb, we packed a cooler, we tried to go back to the free beaches, just throw out our beach chairs and just have a good time. Unfortunately, we got to the entrance of that road and it was closed. There was like a police officer there and he said, oh, you have to go like a few hundred meters this way. So we go to this other entrance nearby. Now it's part of the Jaguar Park and there is restricted entry there. You have to pay a fee per person. It is paid access, and I'm not really sure if you're able to access the beaches in the same way or the amenities. It just kind of made us sad because we miss being able to just go to those casual beaches, you know, and just the freedom of being able to go. I want to bring my cooler. I know what drinks I want. And don't get me wrong, I think that's amazing that they're creating a protected environment for the jaguars and for the wildlife in that area. So ultimately, I think it's a good thing. It's just sort of sad that we can't access those free beaches in the way that we used to. And they're really nice beaches as well. The only free beach that I still know that exists that you can just park and go to the beach is called Playa Mirador. And it's between Zama's Beach Restaurant and La Eufemia Restaurant. And that's sort of like in the center of the beach road. It's a beautiful place. Like, we like to go there at sunset. There's like this big rock that you can climb and you can kind of see the shore. It's beautiful. It's a great mirador or lookout. But the water itself is super choppy. It's not like the soft powder white sand with the very calm, clear turquoise waters. It's kind of treacherous and murky, and also a lot of sargassum collects there, so we don't really like to go there and go swimming. But it is nice that there's still like that local vibe, because that's kind of the thing that we were wanting to go on that day, to go up to the free beaches. It's just like when you see a lot more families out, and we like that a lot. But thankfully, we got back to the Ahau Beach Club and had a wonderful time that afternoon. Ended up turning around the day, you know, having a great few hours splashing around in the water.
Wow, wow, wow.
Wow, 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 baby! Woo, woo, woo!
And having drinks and some late lunch. Moving on to another really big highlight or do was going to Illios Greek restaurant. This was one of the most fun parts of the whole trip. We had such an unforgettable dinner and performance experience at this restaurant. Now, we had gone here a couple years ago when my family visited and we had a ball. It's just like one of those places that you know that they put thought into every single little thing that they do. So we knew we could expect it was going to be an amazing experience again. So you definitely do want to make a reservation there. And 7:30 was a great time to go because every night at 9 p.m. they have this amazing show that they put on. From 7:30 to 9, we had time to be able to enjoy our delicious dinner and talk. And, you know, they had a couple of moments where these dancers go around the restaurant, and we had seen this before, and they have like lights, and it's just a really festive place. It's so beautiful as well. It's like very much fine dining. I just enjoyed the Greek salad, fresh tuna, mouth-watering truffle spaghetti. Again, just the service was so attentive. It's like every little thing, they made sure you were okay. They saw the baby was starting to get antsy in her baby seat that they had for her, and they ended up surprising her with a slice of coconut cake that had like one of those flame candle things on it, and it was just so cute. It's like, wasn't even her birthday, but they just wanted to make her happy. They have all the pretty little fixings for like your sparkling water, cucumber, or grapefruit slices. It's just really nice. At 9 p.m. we ended up catching this amazing performance that we had missed the last time we had gone because we didn't know that they had performances every night at 9 p.m. It was just this epic show filled with pyrotechnics and like Cirque du Soleil type moves and fire dancers, aerial dancers, and it was like this whole epic Greek theater performance. And it was truly magical. One of the don'ts is if you do have a baby or kids, it's super loud, so you may want to consider a way to have like somebody in the group that can babysit your baby or kid, or somebody in the group who can take them out of that area, and so that everybody else can enjoy it, because it is very loud. So I ended up having to leave because it was too loud, and thankfully she had already fallen asleep in the carrier by then. Nate was able to get footage on his phone, and I was still able to see kind of part of it from far away. It was really cool. This restaurant is a do, and it's worth booking in advance. So our final day was really all about relaxation. After packing up at the Airbnb and Nate had a call with one of his clients, we ended up going back to Ahau Beach Club because, you know, if it ain't broke, why fix it? Nate ended up being able to work from the beach club. What's not to love about that? Being able to work in a beautiful location and see these turquoise waters from the Caribbean Ocean in front of you. I was able to just safely be able to play with the baby. There was like this cute photo shoot happening next to us, and they loved the baby. She's super social and friendly. We had so much fun. And the last day was probably the sunniest day. There was strangely sort of like a cold front the weekend that we were there, so it was like in the 70s and like slightly cloudy. But that Monday it was like bright blue skies, so the water was so turquoise and beautiful that last day. It just made my heart really happy. The baby even took a nap right on me, and I was able to just sort of relax and take it all in. And it was just pure bliss. So if you can do on your last day, plan sort of a stress-free day. That was sort of the name of the game with the whole trip, is like scheduling in margins of peaceful time to do nothing and just really soak it all in. So traveling with a baby to Tulum this year in 2025 brought its unique challenges, but it also brought incredible joy to us. We had so much fun. We've learned to slow down a lot with the baby during our travels and really appreciate the small moments and prioritize comfort. So if you can keep these do's and don'ts in your mind as you travel to Tulum with your family, your trip is gonna be amazing. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. And if you have any questions or comments or experiences maybe that you had going to Tulum with your family, we would love to hear from you in the comments. So please go ahead and like and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you have any other tips for traveling with babies or small children, especially to tropical beach locations, we would love to hear those in the comments as well. So until next time, let's keep adventuring, and lots of love from the Native Nomads family.
Anything I do, just follow. Take everything you can find. We stay here until tomorrow. Can't let them win.